Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Friday morning, the 20th of December. Finding out what all the noise was last night. I don't know where that hunk of cardboard came from. I think it's probably off one of the old ag bag boxes right there. Kind of looks like it. Ground's kind of wet in the barn here. It tends to have an issue. We don't have a very good ditch because there's too much stuff stacked against the outside of the building right there. And it's wet all the way down to the horse feeder. There's plastic underneath the hay here that wraps up around the outside because we do get a little water in here once in a while. First thing I saw when I come out was a noise I really wondered about. The 5-gallon bucket wedged underneath the running board on number 2's Tahoe. It's actually squished down like it's about an inch squished into there. It's kind of funny looking. What else? Oh yeah, it's a good thing we got a machine shed over there. Well, that's the hay barn, but it's a good thing I got equipment parked in there because the little Freightliner, that's what that reflection you're getting is. There we go. Try to light things up. The front of that's about 2 feet underneath the eave, and the back of the 12-foot bed is wet. Same with the 175 Massey. The only thing dry there is the grinder mixer behind it. Odie, the new little 135 to us, it's soaked clear to the front, but the big ag reel or ag grain hose reel ahead of it is dry. And yeah, the back of the John Deere, it's soaked right up to the dash, and it's against the wall. Yeah, they didn't say we were supposed to have winds. We kind of knew they were coming, but they've been talking about minimum 2 inches of rain and all these flood warnings. And I'm sorry, there ain't enough water in the creek yet. It probably is by now, but not enough water in the creek to warrant a flood warning. But it blew like hell last night. They were talking 60 plus, and I totally believe at least 60 plus. Sorry you can't see a whole lot. I'm trying to get it through the lights there. Yeah, there's some more stuff that wasn't where it was. That had a couple 100 pounds of weight on it, and that's protected. That's between the buildings and the grain bins. That's always fun to see what's where. I'd be amazed at the things I find moved, even if they say it's not going to be that windy, because the wind will do some weird things coming through here. Like, hey, there's a barrel. Anybody want to go float the river? If I could see the creek, I'd tell you how it was, but even with this flashlight, I can't see that yet. And yeah, 2 buckets there. They weren't there before. That one might have been, but I know the one sitting over there on the catch basin wasn't there. Other thing I like to look for is make sure we actually still have roof. It's been about, 4 years ago, I guess. Something like that, maybe 5 years ago. They say we don't get tornadoes here yet. Every year they pop up with 1 or 2 of them somewhere within about 50 miles of us. They get them up around Battleground, Washington on the flats in there, and they get them down around Almsville and Woodburn, and so they end up not too far from us. But I just remember, oh no, you never get those. Well, I don't even know if I got the pictures anymore. Yeah, not too bad in here. Yesterday morning it was wet. Oh, what is that, about 15 feet in? There's protein tubs there for the cows. They're wet today, but yesterday they were soaked. Make my way through and turn some lights on. Point you toward the ground for a second. Now I can see my screen. That looks nice. It's wet. As long as I don't touch it, we can still converse, right? At least you can listen to me. Now the covers are still on those bins. That's a plus. Friend of mine's a little Bobcat. That's a friend of mine that helped us with the generator, and he'd been discussing this little thing. He got a pretty decent deal on it. I can come back to that. Bins, that's unusual. With as much wind as we had, it must have been on the right angle, because both the covers are still on those upper bins. And the lower ones I can see maybe not getting knocked off, but those upper ones are up in the open without having a big stack of hay beside them. Oh man. And the sinuses are loving this stuff. We went from a week with the highs and the lows being 28 to about 33 degrees. And it was kind of damp out, to, what was it, yesterday morning? It was 38 degrees yesterday morning when I got up. It warmed up a little overnight. Last night at 10:30, it was 57 degrees here. It's 53 degrees now. So anyway, yeah, this poor little machine. His neighbor had possession of it. Belonged to his neighbor's son, who lives down at the coast and apparently runs a little concrete outfit. And it's one he just, I guess, doesn't use. I don't know. And get to look at after he gets it cleaned up fairly decent. It's been repainted. I mean, things are in pretty good shape. It's got the little rust on it from the coast. And I give him a bad time because you get a little double vision when you look at that. That's when we noticed it had been repainted, because when he cleaned it up, just with a hose, it kind of knocked the extra off the old sticker. And get to looking back here, which, yeah, you can't tell it as much now. When he was cleaning it up and it was wet, you could read part of what was underneath. It come from a rental outfit. So it's probably got more hours on it than the meter says, and we were wondering, but the pins are all tight. Most of it looks really good. The worst thing, I don't know if we can see it or not. There's some underneath the cab too, but yeah. A little bit of that coasty rust. It's kind of like what you guys get back in the Midwest. Except this kind of goes wherever it can condense. Where you guys, it's wherever the salt hits. But as far as the loader itself goes, it looks great. Little Kubota motor, and it fires up, runs good. It needs a new hood latch. Foam-filled tires that are in good shape. The little bit I've been looking around, these things are, for this model, are running $12,000, $15,000. And he picked her up for, I think he said $6,300. I can't complain about that if I was looking for one. Of course, we have no idea what year it is. I asked him the other day if he ran the serial number to find out, and doesn't know yet. He might know by now, I don't know. And this little gem over here, I picked up in 90. It's an 84 model. I gave him $9,000 for it, which at the time was still a steal, but I picked it up off a rental outfit that I knew the owner of. He'd picked it up when he bought out another rental outfit. And this originally had factory heat and all the side panels and windows, because the original outfit, when they bought it, it was purchased to go up to Mount Hood for snow removal. And that's the only thing this machine did. It set all summer, and all winter long it moved snow. So, it was low hours. And hey, it's worked great for me. It's got, I don't know, somewhere around 5,000 hours now. It's been through the gauntlet. It's had a lot of stuff replaced because, it happens. And I'm just rambling on this video, listening to it rain, listening to some crybabies. Because I really, really expected to see a lot more junk in the yard. I'm really surprised a lot of stuff wasn't moved. It was shaking the house last night a few times. Oh, I started to say those whirligig things that you guys get back there in the Midwest. Excuse me again. They said we didn't have one. I said bullshit, we did. Especially when I was on top of the roof and I looked southwest of here, and there's half a dozen trees all in a row with no tops on them. And this first high section between the corner and that first post to the right, the end 4 feet was folded straight up in the air, had the board still attached to it. And all the water ran through the barn. And while I was up there, when I looked off the other direction, back past our back barn, there's a cedar tree back there at the end of the bull's runs. And it no longer had a top. Its top was about 300 feet east of where it is. Now, just a good wind wouldn't have carried that top very far. It might have gone 50 feet. Maybe a little farther. But, yeah, look up. Take back to the second set of boards back from the wall. That was gone. Folded straight up. Of course, kinked. So it leaked. And I did the math. I figured up with the amount of rain we had and the amount of roof area above that, that was all running right into this feeder. And from the feeder, part of it ran that direction towards the gate. And part of it ran that direction toward the maternity pen. Well, that far cow, she's standing in part of the maternity pen. It didn't make it that far. But this other way, it made it all the way and made a big mess. I don't know if I've mentioned it before, but had 8 cows stuck in it. That cow looking at us right against the post, right where her backside is. The cow to her right or left, looking at me with the yellow tag. That one, that's my old cow Snickers. She was laying there and got sucked into that muck and couldn't get out. This story's all going somewhere, trust me. She head facing south, so facing toward that wall down there, but she was straight in from the gate. The manure there was about 2 feet deep, and it was all muck, and she was nestled clear down in it. She couldn't get up. We don't know how long she was down for, but when we realized that, oh crap, she's down, wife grabs a halter and got on her. She was supposed to be one of the kids' show cows. Number 1 was going to show her, and then chickened out and took a different one instead. I spent about an hour with the skid steer, not only trying to dig a path across the lot to get to her, because things were so bad. We hadn't got the barn cleaned that year, and all that water came through. And The water all came through. I want to say it was like in October, may have been end of September. And it was, I want to say December 26th when that cow got stuck in there. So, in the process of trying to get her out, my wife ended up tearing her rotator cuff, screwing it up. She's got 2 tears in her bicep. It's been almost 2 years trying to get that taken care of. Half the doctors she sees look at her, how can you stand to be here? You have to hurt. And she, well, yeah, it does hurt. Her surgery's today. She got the phone call about a week ago saying it was going to be today. And got the phone call yesterday afternoon finally telling her what time. So we're going to be over at Kaiser Hospital, Sunnyside. She's got to check in by 2:30, so I figure maybe by 4 o'clock they'll be working on her. We'll probably have another nasty night. I'll be driving her home in that stuff tomorrow or tonight. So, but that's the story. To the hole in the roof, to the cow being stuck, to my wife being grumpy for the last 2 years because she hurts like hell. And incidentally, since we're still looking at her and she's standing there, Snickers calf that year was a real dud. You know, she loved on him, but she wasn't happy about him because he was a dud. We've kept 3 bull calves out of her over the years. 2 of them we used as herd sires, and 1 of them we sold to somebody else for a herd sire. She never fell on her face. Granted, she's an older cow. She's an '07 model. So yeah, she's old. She made up for it this year. 1 of the 2 calves we left bulls was hers. So, you know, we'll take that. Otherwise, she'd have been gone for sure. There's a bunch of old ladies in here. Splotchy, right there with the big red splotch on her face. She's blind in her left eye. She sees shadows because she got pink eye in it really bad. It was a continual problem with her, and the vet says, oh, she'll never see a thing. Yeah, he's here a couple months after that, and she walks up to him with her blind side to him, and he moved, and she kind of spooked a little bit. And I say, hey, Steve, you said she'd never see, but she just jumped away from you. Well, what do you mean, he says. I said, well, that's her blind side, according to you. I said, she sees shadows. She don't run into anything. She can find things. So that was kind of a running joke for a while. One of the best vets around in the country. And he said, oh, she'll never see out of it. 2 months later, she's seeing him out of it. So, yeah, hell, this is already getting too long. I got to go do something. Find out what else is banged up out there. Daylight reveals a lot. It ain't here yet, but it's going to tell me more in a little bit. Go in the shop and see how bad it looks in there. At least so far I haven't found any tin missing off the roof. Well, 1 year, I think it was 2 or 3 years before that opened up. This all used to be 20-foot roof panels. And there were 7 sheets right out of the center, rolled up like a culvert. We're laying outside the wall here where those poles and a little bit of roofing are. Laying there just like a culvert. And there was another 5 or 6 sheets all bent up. And so, yay. Shouldn't have to worry much now. If it catches it, it's going to take the whole works. And the old roof, when Dad built this, the nailers up there were all 1x6, and of course rough cut 1 inch, and nails, and nails loosen, especially in a thinner board like that. There's all 2x4s up there. It's all screwed down now, and the only 20-footers are from there to there. From there to there, if I remember right, are 53 foot or 54 foot. 54 foot is as long as the company we get the roofing metal from can make. Because from their rollers to the wall, that's what they got. They can do like 54 foot 1 inch, but that 1 inch is going to be a little distorted because it was in the middle of the rolls and they couldn't cut it right. So anyway, holy crud, 20 minutes. You got 20 minutes to listen to me ramble off already. I think we'll call that enough. I keep trying to keep up with Straight Pipes. He keeps putting up these 20, 25, 28-minute videos. But he does them in 5 or 6 pieces like I usually do. I get this all in one. No screwing around that way. Just put it up. And now I got to find my coffee cup. That's too early to be messing with myself. I was going to say, usually I put it on top of a feeder if there's nothing else. Okay, everybody. You enjoy your day. Don't freeze your butts off where it's cold. Don't blow away where it's windy. Don't drown where it's wet. See if we can all get out of this thing alive for a while. You ain't going to get out of life that way, but at least have fun for a while. Thanks for watching, everybody. Did you hit the like and the subscribe? And by the way, a quick thank you to South Saskatchewan Farmer. He shared up with one of my videos that him and his sidekick Antoine really wanted to see, and gave me a pretty good boost. I got quite a few new subscribers. Thank you to all you that have subscribed. And thanks, Nick, for giving me that little boost. I appreciate it. Thanks, everybody. Bye.